So just a training concept for today. One of the issues that we run into a lot as a dojo, as training karateka or WC in general, is misalignment of the wrist when punching. And I know that most of the time we think that we've got it right, but you would be shocked at how often we've actually got it wrong. So remember, anytime you are delivering a punch, you're trying to hit with the first two knuckles. So the first thing that you have to make sure with your alignment of your wrist is your hand actually straight? Are you curving your hand? This happens pretty often. If your hand starts to curve inward, then you're not actually hitting with the first two knuckles, you're more like hitting with the outside, with the pinky, and that's going to be a little bit damaging. So one thing you can do to make sure that these two knuckles are the ones that you're hitting with is you can actually put those two knuckles just against the wall. So this is something that I practiced quite a bit actually, where you just put your hand against the wall, make sure the first two knuckles are the ones that are touching, both of those knuckles should touch, and then you just practice punching and making sure that those knuckles align touching the wall. So now the second thing that you have to make sure of is your hand should not be bent, your wrist shouldn't be bent so that your hand angles downward. That's a very weak position for your wrist. And it obviously shouldn't be up like this because then you're not hitting with your first two knuckles. So you have to align your hand so that you get this slight flare upwards of the wrist, but it's a better alignment for the muscles of the forearm and then also for those two bones. So while you're punching the wall, you can also make sure that your whole fist goes flat as long as you don't have arthritis and your fingers stick out. If you can make a flat fist, you're trying to push that whole fist against the wall, and you will feel like your fingers touch the wall, but if you were hitting something hard enough, your first two knuckles would hit. If you're still not sure about it, you can take something like a ball in your hand. I've got a big one, but you could use a tennis ball, and you can practice contracting, squeezing your hand on that ball, and feeling the strength in those muscles. So if you're too far down, you're going to feel like there's not as much of a contraction on the top of the forearm. If you're too far up, you're going to feel like this is stretched out too much. There's going to be a sweet spot somewhere right in the middle where both sides feel like they're contracting pretty evenly. And if you close your hand, it's going to be right about where your fist should be. So that's a good place to start. You can add in the punching the wall drill, make sure that those fists are aligned, and you can also transfer that over into things like a hook punch where we really tend to mess that up. So just some food for thought. Try that out for your wrist position and all different types of punches.